All right, red light's on. I guess I do need a microphone. I was thinking I don't need a microphone or a headset since there's nobody else on with me. I guess I do need a microphone. Y'all need to hear me. Let me know if everything's working. I restarted before. Hopefully we are a-okay. What's happening, feeshin friends? Welcome to another live. So tonight we are talking what to do staying busy during the winter when fishing isn't doable. I made a community post. And the winner by how many votes? I want to see how many votes we had here. Was, let's see, I think second place was Rob Kilty, 23 votes, talking about rods, rod action, power, different baits. And Rob, great point on that one. I'm actually going to do a revamped rod power versus action video talking through that. I think that'll be better on an actual video instead of a live. And then also for different baits. That's right up the alley of my old rod reel line relationship videos that I used to do. A bunch of fun doing those, picking a bait or a couple baits and talking about my rod reel and line, why I use them, how I use it, that kind of stuff. So that was number 2. First was Mr. William Traxel, how to stay occupied and busy during the winter months when fishing is just not doable, really. Now, I know we're going to have those jerks down in Florida that say, I can fish all year long. I'm fishing during winter. Well, for us up here, and even maybe for you down there when it slows down a little bit, when, it gets like 50 and you guys are freezing and get out all your winter gear because you think it's so cold. Maybe we can even touch on some of that too for y'all. So, what we're talking about tonight. Tonight, we were going to start. Number 1 is bringing your stuff in. So when it gets really cold here, I don't keep my gear out in the garage when it gets freezing cold. Can you? Sure. But with the grease and stuff in there, I like to clean them up. And when I'm cleaning a reel, should have had one ready here. I always make sure I loosen the drag on it because depending on the reel, the reels will have different type of components to make up the drag. Some could be carbon fiber. Some are like a plastic like saw. I don't even know what the hell it's made out of, really. Some will have felt. So it really just depends. But I always loosen my drag up, back the drag off so it's not tight, so it's not compressing those washers, because that's really what drag is. A number of washers, imagine like a bunch of records, like round, records in a row, and it's just pushing those tighter like this to give friction as that spool's moving. So just backing them off. It's also a good time to check and redo your reels if you're having issues with them. Take them apart, clean them. And even if you don't take them all the way apart, the big things that I do is take the spool out, make sure it's clean, re-oil it, and then clean your worm gear in there. You probably can't really see it too well, but in there where your line guide goes back and forth, clean that worm gear out. And I just use a cotton swab dipped in alcohol, because alcohol dries in the air, evaporates. Clean all that out and put some grease on there or oil, whichever you prefer. Guys use both. Not a right way or wrong way, just what you like. So that's the first thing I do with my reels. And I keep them inside just because, not necessarily that the cold will hurt them just sitting there, but if you've ever had like a piece of plastic, it's super, super, super cold and brittle, and knock it over in the garage or drop it, you can break graphite. So that's why I bring them in. Like I said, I like to look them over and make sure everything's good. Same with my rods. I'll take a cotton swab, and that's a trick I learned from Jim, Tackle Junkie, is first I'll dip them in the alcohol, clean out all the guides, and then take a fresh one that's not wet at all. So you want all the little cottony, fibery things on it. And I go around each one of the line guides to make sure it doesn't catch. Because if you have any sort of little cracks or anything in there, it'll catch those little hairs in the cotton ball or the Q-tip and pull off. You'll know, kind of string out, so you'll know that you have a crack or a break in it. So just a good time to do some maintenance on your reels. Of course, you can tear them apart. That's what I would recommend at least once a year, pulling them apart, cleaning them out, redoing the whole thing, cleaning your main gear and all that. I know that's a little bit much for some people, but you could always go, to a reel cleaning service, bunch of different people. For example, Reel Integrity, Adam, my guy Adam, OG, long-time subscriber, has his own reel cleaning business in, gosh, where's he at? South Carolina, I think, where he's at. If he's watching, shout out your service here, Adam. I don't know if you're on tonight or not, but so that's the first thing. What do we got for comments? I've not been looking at comments here. Just like Grimy, aka Frank, All the members appreciate the hell out of all you paying monthly, giving a little extra to me to help support. I know times are tough right now for everybody. So anybody taking any money out of their hard-earned pocketbook, their hard-earned checks donating to my channel is super, super appreciated. I never ask you all, or beg you all to do it, but gosh, I appreciate the folks that do. And even if you're not a member, that's fine. The biggest compliment to me is just watching, leaving a comment on the videos. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and I appreciate the heck out of that as well. Let's see. Ooh, haven't fished since right after Christmas, then travel, then COVID, now getting 6 to 12 inches of snow tonight and tomorrow. Yuck. Well, hopefully you get better, man. Hopefully all that's passed. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword for me because I really want the cold temperatures because I want to go ice fishing. Hopefully we get safe ice. But at the same time, yeah, I despise cold. I've lived in Iowa basically my whole life. And I hate it. I still hate snow. I guess that's more it. I hate snow and ice. I don't necessarily mind the super cold. It makes things harder and kind of a pain, but I really just hate snow. Sucks. Our showers. Okay, so that's the second thing we're going to hit on. And this is a really big, this is super wide. Just organized tackle. So what do you do? What am I looking at? Well, the first thing for me as a bank angler is I bring my tackle bag in, unzip it, and take everything out because I want to see, are there any little hooks in there, any little jigs, lures, anything that I forgot about or could be in there that could poke me. Now's a great time to just clean the whole thing out. A couple tips. So for the lures, what I've started doing, let me grab one of these here. Oh, and of course, this has no lures in it. How convenient. I'll just throw that back there behind me where it's nice and organized on the floor. My mom and dad were here today. We got a visit, and they were making fun of my messy studio here. I said, well, Dad needs to stay here once and help me put it together. But anyway, for flukes, trick worms, stick baits, anything that I want to stay straight, what I've been doing in my tackle bag is wrapping it really hard. And I've got multiple pockets on mine. I've got like a little small pocket in the front. Anything that I want to stay nice and flat like this, I've been rolling them up tight and pushing them down in there. And then you can put something on top of it, anything like that. But it helps keep the things that you want to stay straight. Some stuff doesn't, really matter as much. Like flipping baits and stuff. These kind of stay fine. But that's honestly one of the reasons I have, here's a cool one. Z bait code. These are kind of neat. Some of these will have like kind of the half clamshell like these. So it helps keep it rigid. Perfect example of why I like yet don't like clamshells, because if you don't want your stuff all jacked up, protects them, but they do take up a little bit more room. So that's the first thing I do when I'm getting new tackle ready. As I'm taking all that stuff out, it's a perfect time to look through everything you've got, kind of get your checklist together and see what you need. Things like small terminal tackle, bobber stops, weights, replacement treble hooks, things you don't normally think about until you're like, ooh, I need one right now, and you're out. Checking hook sizes, hook sizes I have a small, I should have got all this ready and out to show you all, but I have like a really small Plano. I don't see another one here, but it's just a little tiny Plano like this, waterproof. I open it up, it's got all my hooks in there in the bags, in the original bags. So it's kind of like this one. Dizzle gave me this one. Yeah, it's kind of like this, but smaller. This is waterproof too, but I open this up and then I've got all my actual hooks the way they come in the bags laid down in here. And this is, what is this even? I don't know why there's a random purple and chartreuse BX Brad in there. One of the old Bill Lewis, gosh, what are these? Splashbacks or whatever. I got some of the dummy blanks of these, like the repops, the remakes they made. You can see it's got a real big lip on it. And they actually worked really, really well. Painted a bunch of these up, sold them a while back. Cool little thing. And then what is this thing? Oh, he gave me a mosquito bracelet. It would match my bracelets today. My daughter made me a couple pretty sweet Hawkeye bracelets. Go Hawks, even though they got absolutely smashed in the game against Tennessee. But we're not going to talk about that. I don't see Rich in here, but Rich was a funny guy and put that on. Yeah, let's talk about the Hawks. I still love my Hawks. Those guys, that's the thing people need to remember is, like, I was looking at some of the comments and people are just pricks. Like just evil, mean, petty jerks out there commenting under like the game and stuff on them. And it's like, you have to go back and think about it. Like, these are kids, you know, these are 19, 20-year-old kids. You know, I know they're adults, but still, like, I don't know. Some people just really need to get a life. Okay, so anyway, going through all that stuff, looking at what I need, and that's also a good time to organize and put into different things in the house. Now, it doesn't have to be expensive. We've talked about tackle organization. It could be planos. It could be things like this. This is a thing my wife got from Walmart, not super expensive. And you can see I got this really extremely well organized for my crankbaits. Not at all. But you could put your plastics in here. And this is actually, oh, it's got a seal too. Oh, it's just foam. Let's say it's waterproof. But yeah, so you can store your crankbaits like me and do this. Ow! It's a great way to keep them all in line so you know what you've got. But things like that, you can get like the little shoebox things. I know that's what Randy started doing for some of his. He's got like a big Rubbermaid tote, like on wheels in the back of his truck. And he can open it up and put all of his different little like boxes and bags in there. So as we're bank fishing, he can go back and, you know, switch stuff out or get different lures, stuff like that. So that's even a good time to reorganize for your car or truck. Make a better system like that. I know some people have shown, like in their like SUVs, putting like bungee cords up above, so you can have like your rods up on the ceiling above you. Obviously that won't work for, you know, all cars and trucks and stuff like that, but little things like that just to make fishing easier and more time efficient, because that's really what it comes down to for me. You know, during the winter like this, I can't fish after work. It's already completely black, dark at what, 4:30, something like that. I don't remember what time, but you know, I don't get off till 5 o'clock. Well, it's already dark, can't go. So I think somebody shared a thing in like 35 days or 36 days, the sun will be setting at 7 again. So we'll be back to the longer days. But just doing stuff like that, getting things ready, going through, looking at, you know, what do I need for organization? What things cause me the most headaches, you know, and putting your money there. Like if you're a huge crankbait fisherman, getting some of these double wide crankbait holder deals like this. This is the edge. I mean, you can get whatever one you want, but getting these like thicker ones, the planos can be kind of, and not just plano, any of these tackle organizing things can be kind of deceiving, because they'll talk about like the 1 inch or the 2 inch, you know, depth and stuff. So sometimes you kind of have to see them to see how much they'll hold. But like this is a 2-inch extra deep one, and you could put a whole bunch of crankbaits, you know, in here. So little things like this, just trying to get your stuff all ready to go. Now there's only so many times you can do that. If you have the room in your basement or garage, one thing I did, now that I'm ambidextrous, I use both right and left-handed reels. I spent a whole winter coming down and doing like 50 or 100 pitches, 50 with my left, 50 with my right, going back and forth a couple times a night, you know, so a couple hundred pitches with both my right and left hand. So using a left-handed reel, doing it in my right hand and my left hand, and learning the left-handed reel, because otherwise I only had the, you know, the right one. So perfect time to practice your flipping and pitching, getting used to a different reel. It doesn't take any time at all. Once you kind of reprogram your brain, it feels like you're doing something completely foreign the first time you pick up a left-handed reel. But a good time to do that as well. So a little bit of organization. Let's see what you guys got for questions. Okay, question right here by Patrick. Do you want to build a snowman? We're getting 6 to 8 inches right now, and I actually just built one. No, I don't. I hate snowmen. I hate snow. I don't want any part of that. I despise snow, so you can keep it. Keep the snowman. Let's see. Oh yeah, John, I feel a bit guilty. I live in Texas looking for a boat now to go fishing over the winter. Yeah, I wish I lived down south like that. It would be nice, but then you kind of get the backside of that, where in the summer it's like 120 degrees all the time, and it's kind of miserable too. So I think a happy medium, maybe Oklahoma-ish. I don't know. Let's see. Ooh, awesome. Aussie Cat got a Bass Pro gift card from the in-laws. Went terminal tackle shopping spree. That sounds fun. He'll be organizing tomorrow. Let's see. Planning a fishing trip. I'm doing research and organization now. Yep, there's a bunch of really good ones, and I should have had stuff ready we could look through. I don't have like an exact system, I guess, for my stuff. The biggest thing I can say, like if you're a bank or yak angler, is have multiple setups ready to go. Like have extra tackle. Not that you have to take it all with you, but if you get to a place and you're all your arsenal's set from the last time you were out and you were fishing dirty, muddy water, you get to this new place because a lake can change in, a few weeks completely 180 degrees. You get to the next place and it's completely clear, gin clear. You're like, crap, I don't have any colors or anything ready for that. Having that stuff back in the trunk where you can switch out, a few planos or a couple bags of plastics can really save you from, because I'll go out sometimes and pack real light and then I'll get there and be like, oh my God, it's chocolate milk. I didn't bring anything for this, So not having to take it all with you, but having that stuff there in the truck where you can go back and kind of reload, switch stuff out. I should organize my hooks by EWG hooks by size. Yeah, I like keeping in the bag. To me, that's the easiest way to keep track. I know some people use like a paper clip or a safety pin, and like in the planos, they'll keep it in like a little terminal plano in each of the little square compartments, and they'll put like all their 4/0 EWG hooks on like a little safety pin and just write like 4/0 in there, have a little 4/0 piece of cardboard and store them that way. I just like storing them in the bag because then I know the exact brand, the exact type and everything. It just, for me, it keeps it super easy. So one thing I will say too, I've shown them on here before, so y'all have probably seen them, but these things are super handy to have in your truck. This happens to be the Tackle Warehouse Bass Mafia one. There's a few different places that make them now, but it's just a really tough plastic, like almost like a vinyl-y, like what the old swimming pools, were made out of, kind of that feel to it. You can just throw a whole bunch of plastics or even lures in here. Sometimes I'll just have a day bag ready where like I know the place I'm going, okay, I'm just going to throw this, and this. I'll just throw a bunch of tackle in here and throw that in my truck. You can always walk back and get different stuff, switch out, but those are pretty handy. Bassless Chap, how's Randy? I have not heard from Andy. I hit him up again on Instagram. I've not heard. Hopefully he's good. Like I said, he broke his phone, said he didn't have the stuff to get it now. I don't know if he's switching places or what's going on, but I hope everything's good. I've tried reaching out, but hopefully everything's good with the guy. I need to get him back on here as soon as possible. Yes, against the Vols. I know they got their butts kicked. Yeah, no points against ranked components. Is that true? Man. Braden, painted any lures lately? I have. Maybe more to come on that later. But I am going to be shutting down the website. Actually, I need to get that going. I need to talk to Brando because I am going to be shutting down the website. I'm not going to continue to sell lures. I just don't have enough time. And it was getting to the point where, like I talked about in another live, that it just wasn't fun anymore trying to shuffle everything. And I want to get back to, getting back to a lot of the basic stuff on my channel, doing a lot more of the how-to type stuff and using a bait caster and, getting to some of these things where, just having fun with it. Even in some of the videos, I would be so stressed out going out fishing that it wasn't fun because it's like, God, I haven't been fishing in 2 weeks. I need to get a video out of today and just breathe, just breathe on some of this and have fun with it. And it's helped. I didn't get a second video out this week. I wanted to, but there should be 2 or 3 maybe next week. So let's see. No. Caitlin Clark is the face of Iowa. She is the most well-known Iowa person right now. Absolutely. She is blown up. She's good at the basketball game. Let's see. What up? People saying JT's in the house. I missed it somewhere. Evening JT. Oh, yeah. They made a bowl game. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely, man. Those kids work their butts off. Debo, a lot of the Tennessee fans are actually posting pretty nice comments consoling Hawkeye fans. Oh, man. JT, Debo, that big box of stuff, is that tonight's giveaway? What box of stuff? Oh, that was an unboxing. I haven't used any of that. Otherwise, we could, but I don't know. We'll do a random one for tonight. Gosh, and I still haven't got my giveaways. I was doing well there. I had like 2 weeks, I think, where I got stuff out on time. But yeah, we'll have a giveaway tonight. Yeah, right here we got some room there. We'll be doing a giveaway. Let's see. Jay says, Deba, how tight are you setting your drag for frog and jig fishing? Well, I set mine all the way cracked down as tight as I can get them. The reason for that is you don't have to necessarily for jig fishing or frog fishing, or really any fishing, more open water type stuff. But for like my jigs, Texas rigs, frogs, anything where I start to get around really thick stuff, I would much rather have my drag set super duper tight where I know as soon as I swing into that fish, it's going to be like hitting a brick wall and getting those hooks set and getting that fish's head turned around as soon as I can and out of that crap. Because there used to be a place that Randy and I would pike and bass fish topwater frog. It was like heaven, but it was full of lily pads. And if you hit them and gave them just a little bit of slack to get down in that stuff, they would get all wound up and caught in that stuff, and it was so hard to get them to you. Same for brush, under docks, those concrete pilings and stuff. Any of that stuff, I want to hit them hard and get them turned to me. So it's different than finesse fishing with light line where I'm trying to play them more. I'm really trying to hit them as hard as I can and get that head turned to me. So some people might tell you different. That's how I do it. It really depends on the person, but I know a lot of the jig guys are the exact same way too. They want to hit them hard. They want that drag tight and get the fish turned around and get it under control. IU and OSU. I watched Nebraska and Wisconsin after Iowa today. That was a good game. Ben, hey Debo, good to see you. Hope all is well. Well, Ben, I hope the same for you, brother. That's a toad of a fish you got there too. Good catch. Awesome organization on my my crankbaits. Yeah, I should do as Debo says, not as Debo does on tackle organization. I'm not the most organized. I've got later in life ADHD diagnosis. Like I'm pretty scatterbrained on a lot of things when it's like short time frame stuff. In organization, I am definitely a piles person, organized chaos type piles. It drives my wife nuts, but for me, it's like comforting because like I know where everything is. So I hate like taking everything all apart and organizing and doing all that. But will you be doing a video on how you did the crankbait organization? Yeah, that'll probably be an in-depth one. I know that was looking really good and organized there, but yeah, we can do that. Okay, so looking through, I don't see any other real questions on the organization. If you guys do, guys or gals, let me know. Yeah, Eliza, somebody was saying, yeah, practice pitching is awesome. Eliza says I practice catching. Well, I wish we could be all down that way. Hey, Shan the Man's in here. Question, have you seen the Jackal KR frog with the small round blades? I do. I actually have one. That's the version 2 of the KR. Didn't use it yet. I got it late last year-ish. I maybe could have taken it out, but I did not. Shan, hope all is well, man. You're probably still fishing, aren't you? How long do you get to fish down there? Okay. Grimy. If you didn't have to consider any other factors, to where would you move? Oh, to where would I move? And would it be just for fishing? Well, you said if I didn't have to consider any other factors. If no other factors were in play, would I move just to fish more? Absolutely. I could never move because my family's here. They do a ton for me and my family. So, if let's just say my wife's like, okay, we hit the millions. My family's coming with me. We're gonna have like a Debo acreage with everybody living with us. I don't know. That's a good question. Like I said before, it would have to be somewhere kind of like good-ish all year long. From what I've heard, San Diego sounds to me like the best, like just weather, because it doesn't get super duper crazy hot for too long. Doesn't get super duper cold. That's where I would like, I don't mind if it gets, 90 and 100 for a little bit, but when you've got like months of it and it's just ridiculous and then the crazy cold, I don't know. I guess it's hard to have the best of both worlds. Oh yeah, got to air out your gear after use for sure. And that's a really good point too with any of your wet gear. Anything you get wet, bring it home, let it air out before you just put that away and forget about it. It's a great way to rust your hooks, and especially if you put a wet crankbait away in one of those boxes, great way to destroy all of your hooks or jigs or any of that. Excuse me. What kind of handle is on the Zillion? That's the Gomexis. Love the Gomexises. They're a little expensive. I bought this one from a fellow YouTube buddy. He already had all this on here. So, but yeah, I love these handles. These or the Spool Speed Scott's. He's got the extra long carbon fiber with the handle that's like a, I don't even know what shape you would say. I've got it on. I have to go find a reel back there. But those are the only two handles I use now. I just wish they weren't so expensive. Both of them are a little pricey. Spool Speed, at least you have like 20% off deals. Gomexis, very rarely. A long time ago, I got a couple where they were like, I think $20 off. They had like a day sale, like an Amazon Prime Day or some crap. But yeah, they're like $45 for just a handle. It's kind of a racket to pay that much, but I really, really, really do like them. And my thing for me, actually, if we're talking, I'll try not to moon you all. My thing is, I hate the little sissy handle knobs, and Abu Garcia actually has completely revamped theirs, which is almost 2 Debo finger digits long. So this is almost a 2-inch long handle knob. I love theirs. They don't have an extra long handle really. I think it's a 95 millimeter or 100 millimeter on some of these. I don't remember for sure. Probably 95 is common. But they've made the larger, longer handle knob. So that's what I really, really like and prefer. I do like a larger, I guess I should say longer cranking handle. Like this is 100 millimeter. Well, I can show you here. Yeah, those are still like a 90 or 95 on the Abus, but the handle, this part being longer, makes such a difference because on the little tiny ones, if I set the hook quick, I've scraped up and cut up my knuckles. I can't tell you how many times. That's one thing I hate about the actual Zillion, funny enough, is that it has those little sissy handle knobs on it. That's the only complaint I have against the Zillion, is I don't know if whoever designed it has little tiny hands or something, but ugh, I hate the little tiny handle knobs. Let's see. Fishing Fix. Me and my wife got a new /used house for the New Year's present. That's awesome. Congratulations, man. Mr. Usama Khan. When are we getting the best and worst of... Man, I was working on it, dude. You know how long it takes to... I underestimated how long that was going to be. To go back through a year's worth of footage. Oh, and then the last video, the video making those little do-it jig round head molds, I got that one all the way done once. I accidentally hit save on my thing instead of save as, and it froze and closed it. So I had to do that one twice. And the first night it was super late when I got done with it. So I said to hell with it, and it ended up being a couple days later. But yeah, I started on it. I started on that and my gear picks. So the best and worst gear of the year too. So I go back, obviously, since I'm not out fishing with them now, I have to go back through the year and get footage of that so I can splice in footage using them and stuff. Makes for a better experience than just me sitting in front of a camera talking. But soon, hopefully, the best and worst will for sure be at the beginning of next week. I'm hoping the gear one's at the end of next week, and I've got a little unboxing in between. So there you go. That's spoiling what the videos will be. Okay, speaking of rod action, y'all like to know the action of the rod stuff. I definitely need to get back into the hook rod reel line videos. Okay, speaking of action, does a 2-piece rod affect this, or has tech made this negligible? I got an Iridex 2-piece in Tatula. Don't know the difference yet. So they've definitely come a long way. A lot of them will use that, like the ferrule spigot thing to put together. So like in the old days, they would have 2 white lines. You'd push them in until the white lines joined. Now they've got that kind of ferrule, they call it a ferrule spigot, that puts it together, that does hold it pretty damn tight. For me, it's just one more thing to worry about, making sure they're straight. Did I line them up straight? If I cast, back in the old day, I had a two-piece spinning rod, and I can't tell you how many times I wanted to break that thing over my knee. I'd cast it, flip it like that, and the first half would go out flying, and it's like, well, I just completely blew up that spot. So does it make a huge difference? I don't know, especially if you're using braid. I don't think so, because braid ups your sensitivity 10 times. So is there a huge difference? Probably not. I know there's some people that say there's zero. Some people will tell you there's a bunch. I personally don't like them. Again, it's just one more thing for me to worry about. But if you have, a car or, a small vehicle where you can't get a full size rod into it, it makes sense. So I don't know. If you like them and you prefer them, don't let anybody sway you. Like if you like those and that's your deal, use them, man. The most important thing is to get out there and fish. Nick, member for 21 months. Thank you. I don't have an off season. I live in Texas. I should have just skipped this. Yes, we get it, Nick. Just keep fishing. Just keep fishing. Must be nice. Must be nice. Yeah, don't rub it in. Don't try to church it up, dirt. No. Okay, yeah. Maintenance video. Yeah, I still want to get that. Like I said, I'd have to have somebody moderate because I can't get my web camera over there because that's where I film my hands in front of the camera stuff on my little makeshift desk background thing. I would love to. There was a pro, was it Brock Mosley? I should show you guys this. This would be, talk about a dream. Not even really moving. I just wish I had more land here. I freaking hate living on top of people. Like our neighbors are really close to us, in the suburb. It's a really nice, housing place we live in and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that, but I like some space. I would like to have land to be able to go out and, do four-wheelers and stuff like that. So really, even staying around here, I would like that more than like moving to a whole different state and stuff. Let me see if that was him real quick, just because this would be my ultimate thing is to get something set up where I have so it's his big garage. Was it Brock Mosley? Oh, piss. It wasn't Brock Mosley. I don't remember who it was. It was a pro that just got their garage redone and had like a cool, so I don't know if he's going to do like a podcast or, when he's doing his tackle stuff, talking about sponsors and stuff. But anyway, it's got the overhead loft so you can sleep upstairs, or if people are staying over, could sleep out there. It's got his boat out in front, but in the back, he's got like a little kind of bar area. And then this place where you could stand and do videos with like a cool wood, false wood wall behind him. He's got like his couple deer head mounts on either side. And then I thought it was Brock Mosley fishing, but somebody's fishing with like his big, looks like somebody did like a laser cut metal thing in the middle. A really nice wood table all done. That would be my perfect like setup where I could stand up and do stuff and then have like a dedicated filming room somehow out in the garage with all that. That would be perfecto. Also from Osama, can we see some multi-species fishing? Missed those muskie and trout videos. Man, I was going to get out and trout fish. That was before I was kind of all fixed up in the head and trying to get back in the gear of it. But yeah, they did the trout stocking and I was like, I had it marked down on my calendar and stuff. I'm like, I don't even feel like fishing. Like I was just depressed kind of about all of it. I'll be honest, just kind of burnt out. And so I've kind of re-energized. There's no big changes in next year. I think there's going to be some things changing. Some of the stuff I'm working on. So I think just trying to clear my plate a little bit on that and have fun. Nick, Mr. Fat Boy Fishing, how are you? Am I going to do an unboxing soon? Yes, you should see an unboxing next week, which is it'll kind of be a little hodgepodge of everything. I've got some cranks. I've got some plastics. I've got a couple subscriber things. It should be kind of a fun deal. Glide bait videos, Bobby, man, I'm not a huge glide baiter. I've said it before, but it's hard for me to go out for a day of fishing and know, people say, man, got to put in the time with the glide baits. You have to know that you're hunting for that one big fish and you can spend 7 hours fishing and not catch anything. Like I'm honestly not a trophy angler. I would rather just catch a bunch of 1.5 pound, 2 pounders, 3 pounders all day and catch 30 fish, 20 fish or whatever, than catch like 1 6 pounder on a glide bait. I know that's lame, but I just like catching fish and having fun. Awesome Aussie Cat. Okay. I made the switch, fluorocarbon or braided fluorocarbon on spinning gear. I only use mono for topwater. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me, man. For sure, Topwater. Trilene XL in the red box. Dad and I have sworn by that for a long time. It's my favorite. It's super soft, floats really easy, doesn't have a ton of memory to it. Some cranking, I actually prefer running mono on a little bit stiffer cranking rod. So, like for example, if I'm square bill fishing, I don't like a super soft, super spongy, whippy setup for square bills because if I'm banging into rocks and hitting stumps, as your crankbait's going along and you hit something, if it even gets stuck for just a little bit, normally what your crankbait's going to do is get stuck and pull over it and kind of give that um, that chance for the fish to react. If you've got a real soft, spongy mono to like a crankbait rod, it's going to hit that and it's going to really your rod's really going to bend up. And sometimes you can kind of get stuck there and stuff. So I like to have something just a little bit stiffer. Like another good example is grass. Like when I'm fishing a lipless, um, I will either use like a moderate fast crankbait rod with fluorocarbon, or if you didn't have one of those, I've oftentimes just had like my medium heavy. I'll use one with mono on it. So I've got just a little bit more control, I guess, is kind of the deal, because as you get stuck in that grass and stuff, if you have a really soft, really flimsy rod and you try to get it unstuck, it's just bending, right? There's so much give in it. So I'll get in that grass a little bit and give it a quick, pop out of there. And that's harder to do with a real soft combo. So those are a couple times. Otherwise, yeah, really for me, jigs, most all of my moving baits, I'm pretty much always just straight fluorocarbon. But I agree with you. I am braid to fluorocarbon on my spinning gear or mono if you need it to float. Let's see. Froze. I better not be. Cody froze. Okay, he said I think you. Okay. I wasn't even looking. Glad I'm not. Okay, Cody must have reset. Oh, cool, Patrick. I think Hellabass is having Gary Dobbins on again January 10th. Yeah, I would highly advise you all to go watch that. That was one of the coolest. Gary seems like a very down-to-earth, cool cat. Answered any of the questions you guys have on rod stuff. If you're a big Dobbins fan, and he doesn't just do Dobbins. I mean, he gives a very honest example of his products. He could use the Ecstasies, which are $500 rods, and he's like, out of any of my lineups, I would use the $200 champions. They're his favorite out of, I don't know, they're like 250, but still not necessarily budget. But for a guy like that can have gold plated, frickin' rods as the owner, he says his 200 and $40-$50 rods are his favorite. So yeah, he seems like a cool cat. I would highly recommend you all to watch that if Mr. Hellabass has him on again. Yeah, the Revros is a good value. Yeah, absolutely. The RG, the Revros, and what's the one above that? There's like three that are pretty budget priced. Again, I'm not sure why they need three at like 50 cents. Well, hell, I'm sitting in front of a computer with the ability to share. Let's go over to the Warehouse of Tackle. Take a look. Let me share real quick. And look at this. Oh, I got a new mouse. Actually, it's my old work mouse because now I've got a wireless one. But my mouse wheel works. For the longest time, that didn't work. Well, it did, but it was always super skippy and janky. Okay, so of course the Fuego, $100 reel, the Fuego, love it. Exceller. Okay, so the Revros is 59. Legolas is another good one. I have the Laguna. I've had no issues with it. That's actually the one I have. I think I had an old Legolas. And I think I dropped it and broke the bail on it or bent it or something. But the Laguna, so far I've not had any issues with. There's the Regal, the RG. Dad and I got those on sale at Gander. Take a drink. They had them as like a doorway special for like 33 or 35 bucks. So I grabbed us a couple. Great little reel. But yeah, I love the Daiwa spinning reels. Oh yeah, the Revros. Is that the one you said? The Revros? Yeah, Revros. So that's 59 to 79. See, and they've got a bunch of good budget reels. I really don't think you need to spend a ton of crazy, insane amount. Same goes for Shimano too. They've got a bunch in that 50 to 70 because it's what the What's the name of it? It's the new one they just released. Feels really nice. I've got the old one too. So this is it the Sahara? One of them, the old green ones they discontinued. Is it the Sienna? No. I have to go grab it. But that's the oldest spinning reel I have. It still works. Never cleaned it once because I hate cleaning spinning reels. But yeah, Sahara is a good one. I've used it and I've really liked it. The Neck Save, man, spoiler alert, that's my favorite budget spinning reel of the year. That thing has been a little workhorse for $50. What's 100? The Sedona is the new one I was thinking of that they just released. Really like that one. What is the other? It's their $100, the Nasi or Naski, whatever. That's a good one too. So yeah, up to $100, man. I am very pleased with, and from what I've heard from reel makers, is spinning reels are a lot easier to make good and better at a lower price than bait casters are. Making a good quality spinning reel for less money, way easier than a bait caster. So I don't know if the parts, how they're put together or whatever, but that's what I've heard from multiple people at companies. So spinnerbait organization. Actually, Cisco, I don't have that small one here, but I have used one of these. Actually, oh, hold on. Actually, is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, it was here. I was just playing with it the other day. Anyway, I use a small one of these. They have a small one that's like maybe 7 by something. And anyway, I just put them all in this and lay them down flat and throw that in my bag. So it used to be, this was the big spinnerbait. This is how you used to store them, was like this, right? This is my super old one. Planos like that. What does it work? Absolutely it works. But for a day of spinnerbait fishing, I usually don't need 58 spinnerbaits. So getting a small one of these, laying them in there flat, and just throwing that in your bag has honestly worked the best for me. Let's see if they have. Now, I don't know because my old one that one was the Bass Mafia one that I had, the old little one. And then Bass Mafia sold out to Guggen. So I think Guggen brand owns Bass Mafia now. And then Tackle Warehouse did some of these. What the hell would it even be under? Storage, I guess. Duh. Storage would be a good place to look. Do they have fishing bags? Worm bags? Would this be it? Service unavailable. What the hell? Oh my God, for real? Okay, well, does anybody else know who has them? Because apparently Tackle Warehouse just died. Probably because of their, I'm not going to say it, their fun new website that nobody likes. Shan said he's caught 8 small ones yesterday. Story of my life, Shan. How about soft plastic organization? Yeah, I've kind of gone through this before, but so like if I've got extra bags for me, these would actually even work really well in the kayak. Either like they have the KVD longer speed bags, which is just like one of these, except instead of being like rectangular-ish, well, I guess they're both rectangular, being more squarish like this one, it's more narrow and like longer. But one of these I think is absolutely awesome for doing that. I keep extra ones of these in my truck. If you're just looking for extra stuff at home, Fraybill makes some that are square that you can use. You can use like these shoebox. This is I showed this earlier, but this is a Sterilite 12-quart container, they call it. But it's got the lid, you can store all your extra ones in here. You can use the big Rubbermaids. I know a lot of the pros do that. They'll take like the big gallon or gallon and a half, 2 gallon, whatever the big, freezer bags are, put all their plastics in that, right on it like creature baits. Put them all in that and line them up in like the big Rubbermaid tote type things if you've got like a crap ton. But just a few options there. Yeah, absolutely. Dizzle actually hits up Harbor Freight a lot. He's got a bunch of little like pencil case looking things that he uses for terminal. He's even got the same things. Who was that? Somebody gave that tip that they have the exact same like Plano, like the actual tackle looking ones that they sell there for like a fraction of the price. So yeah, it's worth hitting those up, looking around. Let's see. Ooh, I've never bought anything from the Tackle Trap. I'm not familiar with them, but it has the SLX MGL for $109, Evergreen crankbaits for $699. That's a good deal. What's the best tackle bag these days? I still use the two. I use the Fish Lab one. They have a really big one. I like that for like when I'm hopping on somebody's boat because I can get a whole bunch of stuff in there. Otherwise, if I'm doing a lot of bank fishing and walking, it's still the old Tackle Warehouse backpack for me. Anything, if you're getting into bank fishing and really looking to walk around with tackle, a backpack is 100% the way to go. And over the shoulder, just a one strap deal will tire the heck of you out. Does for me anyway. Even if I wear it like crossways over me, walking and all that, it just beats the hell out of you. Backpack's the way to go. So people talking amongst themselves, going back and forth. Says Usama says, I got a KVD bag as a present. It seems too impractical to carry. Well, I wish Tackle Warehouse wasn't dead. We could look here. Oh, now it's undead. Okay. What was I going to look at? Oh, yeah, bags. What's it under? Storage. Tackle bags. Okay, so these are the ones I'm talking about. Like right here, it's a smaller one. It's not that big. Does Tackle Warehouse have their own? Oh, whoops. Is that 13 by 16? That's not it. Man, do they not make any more? That's lame as hell if they don't. Like this Arsenal one would be good. That would work. I want to say it was like 7 by this Busby one. Oh, this Dye one. This is the one Dizzle uses actually for his. But it's a little smaller square one. It's more like this size, which is, yeah, so like this 8 by 6, this medium one would be perfect. Oh, and actually there's a Spro bag. Spro made theirs, and I really like theirs too. It's got like cotton webbing. Yeah. This is another one I've used for my spinnerbaits, and this one's about the same size. Yeah, 9 by 7. So something like this, that's what I use. Lay your spinnerbaits in there flat. I really like that for throwing it in my backpack. Okay, what was the second thing I said I was going to look at? Oh, the KVD bag. Is that a backpack? KVD. The price of some of these bags blows me away. Like this one, $160. That's nuts. KVD. Let's see. Where's the KVD bag? Did I pass it? KVD. Is it that one? Yeah, if it's one of the over-the-shoulder strap ones, I agree. Those are not my favorite at all. I mean, this would work like if you're just going somewhere, you know, throwing it over your shoulder and fishing on a jetty or something. But if you keep walking around with it, yeah, I personally do not like those. I like a backpack. There's a plain old regular backpack. Yeah, something like that. And the big thing for me is the Tackle Warehouse. I've burnt through probably 4 or 5 backpacks before I got that Tackle Warehouse one. And the big thing for me was I like this one because this is actually one thing I was going to talk about, but it looks like they did it right. We can't see, but up on top here, you can kind of see here, whoops, here, instead of having the 2 little straps, like one just barely, you know, stitched there, one barely stitched here, mine always ripped out at the strap, every single one. Maybe it's the way I was built or the way I carry it, but the Tackle Warehouse one was like this. It's one big piece, and they like quadruple stitched it up top. Super heavy duty. That's why I like theirs. Or any type of backpack, whatever brand you get, as long as they're doing that, instead of just being like here. I don't know if they show it on here or not, but yeah. So right here, you can see they went back and like triple stitched the edges, which is where mine have always torn. And then they like double stitched all this in here, and it's one big piece to help hold it all. So that's one thing I would look out for. Every single backpack I had tore out there. Like, let's see, does this one not do it? That one they might have. I can't tell. But yeah, it looks like actually a lot of the companies have moved to that. And the bags that I had before were not tackle backpacks. They were just like cheap Amazon ones. I had like I don't even know, it was like an old Eddie Bauer one or something I used. And then I don't even remember the brands, just cheap ones from Amazon, I think after that. Yeah, it was worth spending a little more. Yes, I am doing that, Nick. That'll be next week. It just takes a crap ton of time to go through all the old footage and cut stuff and look for stuff and trying to remember what was funny and what wasn't, what video was it, what day. Oh my Lord. Hey, almost 2 years in the game. I'll drink to that, Nick. Thank you, brother. Let's see. Oh, Patrick says the electric's flickering there. Yikes. Question, Mr. Usama Khan again. This is the I should have had you on tonight, man. Have you considered replacing your regular fishing line with high-end JDM lines? Man, I have not played with. Somebody got me some JDM line. I think it's braid though. I have not. I got some YGK braid. 40 pound has the same diameter as the regular 15-pound Power Pro. Well, I take that back. Actually, the only one that I have played with which is like that. Strength was not great. I don't know if you've had good luck with the strength of it. It was the Siglon, whoever makes that, the something Siglon. And yeah, it's tiny, like tiny diameter. But yeah, the braid, like once you would rub up against stuff, it was toast. But yeah, if you're fishing open water or you just care about the diameter of your braid, yeah, whatever is that Siglon? Who makes that? I don't even remember. Maybe that is that the manufacturer? I was thinking it was somebody else that made it. Yeah, somebody else must make it. Oh, Sunline, that's right. Sunline makes it. Yeah, this was the kind I tried here was I think it was the 8, but it was in a bright color like this. But anyway, yeah. And this stuff, if you look at the diameter of it, yeah, it's way thinner. And I don't think this is necessarily a JDM, but yeah, that's the only one I played with. So it's the only thing got to watch out for. I generally always I always lean on the side of I'd rather have my line a little bit too big and not break off and feel safe than trying to get down to the absolute lowest, tiniest line I can use, for action or, fish being able to see it and break off on a fish or something. Cause I despise that. Absolutely hate breaking off on a fish. Julie, what line is everyone using for the new Hangover? I'm not really wanting to lose it. What's the Hangover? Is that the new Sixth Sense one? I don't know how big that is or what it is, but for larger swim baits, I don't even know how big that one is. Over and outs and stuff, if you're using like 18, 20 pound mono, I know a lot of the swim bait guys use like the big game mono. You wouldn't even have to go that much if it's not that heavy, 17 pound or whatever. 505 says, yes, more multi-species would be good. Yeah, actually, my cousin hit me up, funny enough, and he said he wanted to see some crappie, catch and cook, fishing for some crappie. I would love to. I'd already planned on doing some of those ice fishing, but guess what? Still no safe ice. Let's see. No. What knots do I use for braid to fluorocarbon? I am 100% Alberto knot guy. I've showed that before on videos. I've showed it on a live, actually. You can tie it in like 30, 40 seconds. It's tight. I've never had break off issues with it. The only thing is it does make kind of a little bit rounder like head on it. So as you're bringing it in, no, other way. It's got a knot going out. So it does have a little bit, or not a knot, but a little bit of where you cut the fluorocarbon off. Does have a little tick there that it can come through the guides, not rough, but like you can feel it. That's where the FG knot is superior. It's just a super tiny little weave that goes through the guides the best, hands down for sure. But it takes me, my neighbor's goat to hold one end of the line, and then 3 people on the left side of me, somebody holding my reel, and Stubby holding the backside so I can get the knot tied. It's just a pain in the butt to tie, I think. So Alberto all the way for me. Let's see. Lots of knot talk, all kinds of knot talk here. Line talk. How far behind am I? 8:16. Oh, I'm only 14 minutes behind tonight. People talking about drag sounds. People are talking about food. Man, you guys and gals go all over the place in comments. Holy crap. See a couple people saying something about the Shimano Miraval. Yep, I do have the Miraval. It is a very nice little reel. More people talking about reels. So one other thing I was going to say too is getting into tackle making, and that's something that we could even look to see. We could almost do that one night, but that is a great way to stay in, fishing related stuff right now, especially if there's things that you use a ton. I know the big thing that people, say is, if I get into tackle making, can I save hundreds of dollars? In reality, probably not. Let's be honest. Unless you're making tons of stuff and fishing so much that you're just always losing and replacing things. For me, that's not what it's about. It's not about saving money. It's about being able to create whatever I want, whenever I want, and having that, that creative mind. I've always trying to think, what can I do for this? Like when I made the Ned, the little Ned jigs is what I call them. Kind of a little umbrella tie on a little Ned head, and it gives just a little bit of flair, a little bit of skirting to a Ned. So yeah, I mean, you don't have to go super overboard when you get stuff, especially like, let's say Ned rigs. You throw Ned rigs all the time, you lose the hell out of them. Just being able to pour my own Ned rigs all the time is awesome. Yeah, the money bags. Yep, same. Will for that's what they were for Bass Mafia. They called them their money bags. Hey, Greg in the house. What's up, Greg? If you need someone to help with the maintenance video, yeah, you're just a little bit of ways away. Can make that happen. My old man was here. Still, one of these days, I'm going to rope him into staying, doing a live for me. Yeah, the Bass Mafia bags too. Yeah, I think Guggen bought them out. If I remember right, they bought out the Bass Mafia stuff. Oh, let's see. Man, you guys are going back and forth here talking. Question. Here we go. Lex Luthor. What's a good tackle back effect for bank fishers? I kind of just went over that. I'm probably behind, so you probably heard all that. But yeah, I would just say check your stitching. Really, one that you have to find a size that works for you, not too big. I'm notorious for cramming more in my bag than I should, and once you get a super duper heavy backpack on, it can be kind of a troll to carry around because it gets heavy. So finding one that's not too crazy big, but big enough that you can carry all your stuff and feel comfortable. And let's be honest, we're probably going to get there and throw the same 3 baits that we always do. And so we always pack too much. Little Rich says, I still use a Spider-Man backpack my son had. Hey, nothing wrong with that, man, if it works. Somebody else said that. Was that Punch that said those KVD speed bags are being phased out? That's dumb. Why? I had one here. If y'all can see here how organized it was next to me, you would understand actually here. That's not the money bag, but this is one of the old, and these bags actually suck. Sorry, Monster Bass. That's why they quit making them. They knew they sucked. The size and everything was cool of them, but they were of this plastic, like when they got really cold, they would crack and stuff. Yeah, not the most durable. I had that happen to one of mine. I don't know if it was a quality thing too, because this one never had a problem with. But anyway, yeah, they stopped making the bags because they sucked. But this is essentially what they are. So you can see, like, this was a day I just threw a bunch of stuff in. I met Randizzle and we went somewhere. I don't remember what it was. I had their hooks, wacky tool. I've got some chatterbaits in there. I don't even know. Couldn't tell you the day what we were doing, but I just threw a few things in. And especially if you think of stuff at last minute, you're like, oh crap. Let's see. Creek wading. I do want to do that. Diggs. I've actually got a guy that I work with told me about a creek that he goes to like 15 minutes from me. So once it warms up a little bit, because I'm not going to buy waders and do all that crap, I'll just wade it, in shorts and some old tennis shoes. But yeah, that would be fun. I would like to do that. Get on some Smalley top water down there. He says his buddy was throwing a popper down there and just crushed him this year. So I would love to do that. He said not usually a ton of huge ones, but I said, well, you haven't watched my show, have you, buddy? I'm not known for the big ones. Let's see. Oh, Dustin says he has an awesome Gamakatsu backpack bag. Yeah, I'm sure there's other good ones out there. I just haven't tried a ton of them. The ones I did just sucked and they weren't really made for it. So just, yeah, make sure that stitching up here and down here where your shoulder pads connect is double, triple heavy duty. Because if it's not, especially if you're like me, now, if you pack really light, probably not going to be an issue, right? But like I said, I tend to pack way more than I need and then just rip the hell out of them. So let's see, people talking about rods. Those were my big things. Let's see. We'll do, gosh, we're right at an hour, right on those. We'll do a giveaway here. What else for all of you? So I kind of talked about some of the stuff, doing maintenance on your rods and reels, cleaning them up, bringing them in, loosening those up. And a lot of people will back off the spool tension too. I didn't say that, but I don't know how big of a deal that makes, because if you look inside the reels in the spool tension, this is actually kind of a bad one because it's not real big. If you look inside the spool tension knob, to me, it's not anything that's going to wear out. If it's going to wear out, it's going to be the friction that's put on it when it's turning, when the spool shaft is turning on it. It's hard to see, but it's like a lot of them will have a carbon fiber piece in there, kind of. This one has like a black, I don't know, kind of plasticky looking material, what it is. And actually, this one's interesting because it's got the clicker in there so you can see the brass around it. But a lot of these will just have like a cardboard, almost like a circuit board looking thing in there. So even if the spool knob or the spool shaft is pushed up against it, I don't know that it's really going to do anything. So how important that is, I don't know. But yeah, backing off my drag, I do that because the washers can get compressed in there. Oh, that's another thing I was going to say. If you have trouble with your drag washers, you feel like they're going out, or they're completely shot, or they've got the old cheap plastic ones that don't have a smooth, you know, like when your drag's going out, let's say on a bait caster, set the hook, you know, you're trying to fight it and you want that drag to go out smooth. Some of them will kind of catch and it's like, and that's exactly what you don't want with the drag going out. You want it to, you know, nice and smooth. The Carbon Tex, I think they are. Let me look here. I got them on eBay. Let me just look to make sure that's the, yeah. So Carbon Tex, Walmart. I didn't want the Walmart one. I doubt they sell those at Walmart. Yeah, eBay free shipping. I got them right from his eBay deal here. Let me switch real quick. So in case any of y'all wanted to do that and mess with switching out your drags, he's got all different sizes. Like I just clicked a random. This is for the Daiwa seller, but different size washers and stuff. You know, some of them will be thicker, some of them will be thinner like this. And they're carbon fiber, so last really well, work really well. So if y'all are looking to replace your drags, I would highly recommend those. Especially if you have like the cheaper, which I don't know how many companies do that now. It used to be like a felt, kind of like a papery, cottony kind of feeling. They would rip. Like if you would squash them too hard, they would rip. Those carbon fiber ones are not going to do that. Okay, let's see. I am at 8:29. I'm only 10 minutes behind. Hey, Baxter's in here. What's up, Bateman? We need to get you on a live again. It's been way too long. Wallabeezy. Speaking of multi-species, do you fish BFS at all? I've had a lot of people asking this. Any recommendations for value? No, I would hit up like the Burley Boys, Mule Fishing Ethan. Now, what do you call it? Is it Fish Everything or whatever his name is? He changed it. Who else? Oh, Jimmy Lee. What the heck's his channel name? I can't think of it. I always just remember his name. My BFS nerds out there can help me. I am not the guy to help you on BFS. I've had a lot of people asking me about it, and I'm still honestly not sold on it. I did catch one fish on my BFS combo, throwing an inline spinner. I do see it being helpful for throwing some really light, smaller crankbaits, like some of those balsa crankbaits. I think it could be fun, but a lot of the stuff so here was the question that was framed to me. Debo, why do you think BFS has blown up? Is it because finesse fishing is so popular and BFS is the way to go? So that kind of confused me because like it was worded something like that, but essentially BFS has made finesse fishing popular. And I'm like, well, finesse fishing has always been a thing. Like you could always do that on your, you know, a finesse spinning combo, right? That's been around forever. Why the BFS game itself has become more popular, I don't know. Maybe it's always been a thing in Japan and is just kind of now trickling. We're always kind of behind the, you know, the curve of things that come over from, you know, overseas. I don't know, is it the pressure? I mean, you could still do the same thing with the same light little baits on a little finesse spinning combo. So I don't know. I'm not sure what the big kick behind it all is. I'm not sold, but I'm also kind of a curmudgeon-y grump. So, ooh, Mr. Nedrig Nerd. What's the undisputed $100 baitcaster? I need to do an old, new, all of them put together from some of my favorites from that back in the day, and do like a bracket. It would be a tough one. It would be two head to head that I can think of right now, but that's a question that gets asked all the time. All the time. People talking about some craws. Okay, let's get a giveaway going here. I don't know, what should we do for giveaway tonight? I had nothing planned. Y'all have to help me here. What do we think? Should we do a box of lures? What should we do? Hashtag. Oh, nobody guessed it. I always like to see when that pops up to see if anybody guessed what I was going to put in. People randomly do that through the night, which I think is funny. Okay, so it's going to be hashtag something, because we're going to give something away. I just don't know what. Let's see. I did not mean to skip ahead. Oh yeah, Rar Fishing. Thank you. Yeah, Jimmy is Rar Fishing. Check out Rar Fishing. He does a ton with that. Oh, actually, the Real Test too. Real Test does a bunch of the BFS stuff. He does like a bunch of casting stuff. He'd be a good one to get on too. I need to hit him up. I haven't talked to him. We chatted back and forth a long time ago, just a little bit, but I appreciate that he's a super big gear nerd. Love the gear nerds. Let's see. Damn it. I don't know why it skips ahead like that sometimes. Okay, there we go. What was the undisputed $100? Going through tackle now. Yeah, Mr. RPF, I'm the same. I don't understand the big hoopla over it as well. Sly Fox just popped in to say hello, watching on the big screen. Well, Sly Fox, thanks for jumping in to say, hey, brother. Yeah, the KVD speed bags were cheap and excellent quality. Yeah, I liked them too. I wonder why they quit making them, if they just didn't sell that well. I thought they were nice. Yeah, I really like those. Yes, there's no perfect way to store tackle, and depending on sponsor obligations, it makes it even harder for some. Yeah, well, your sponsor shouldn't dictate your tackle stuff, I don't think. I guess unless you've got them as a box, but in that case, you've probably got everything they own anyway. So yeah, there's honestly, without the sponsor stuff in mind, there's not a perfect way. Everybody does it differently. So Mr. Taylor, I do still have you up on the thing. I did get a bunch of Nedrig heads made, so I'll be painting you up some stuff and get your glide to you. Oh, Steven in the house. What's up, Mr. Steven Elmer? Baitman, buying a thermal printer was a biggie. Dude, thermal printer is a game changer. I've preached it, and the other people that I've seen that send stuff out, I've also seen them say once they get one, oh man, a thermal printer is so nice. I'm like, I've been saying it. People make fun of me for talking about my thermal printer, but cooler lid. So the old ones, I'll leave this up here too. We'll keep grabbing people. Hashtag something if you want to be entered. So I had the old Bass X spinning rod, and actually was one of my favorite spinning rods. I think I broke that down last year in my best and worst gear video. It was one of those that kind of rode the line because feel, it was real skinny up top. I hate spinning rods that have like, when you hold them like this, any sort of hump or like extra stuff in there where your hand touches. I like them super thin, just very low profile there for me. I don't like a bunch of extra crap up there. Super comfortable, really good action in it, like for fishing like little Ned rigs and jigs and stuff. Only problem was the cap when you would screw on the reel tightening nut would overstrip and click, you know. I've had multiple ones do that. So the fix to that is just take a couple rounds of electrical tape in there and it will bind in those I want to say gears. That's not the right thing, not teeth. What the hell are they called? The notches. Anyway, the screwy parts in there, I cannot think of the word. You screw it down and it will bite inside there and bind and tighten that up. So I've had casting rods and stuff do that, but it wasn't just me. I heard a lot of people say that was an error on that one. I think they ended up fixing it down the road, but I had the old rod or the old casting rod and spinning rod and liked both of them. Only thing I didn't like, actually, I think the Bass X did fix it on the old ones. I think it was the Victory one that I gave my dad because I hate tiny little reel triggers underneath on. Let me look here. I'll have to switch my giveaway is still going. I'm not bringing it down. I'm just switching my presenting. I hate tiny reel triggers on casting rods. Drives me nuts. I like a good big positive trigger there to grip and grab onto. But again, that's personal preference. My dad has said before, like, yeah, I would even prefer not having a trigger down there. He likes the very low profile. He likes the St. Croix feel. But I think even in the old one, they have the new line out now. And I'm pretty sure on both the old and the new one, yeah, they have the longer reel trigger here, which I like. I didn't realize they were that expensive. I thought they were all like 115. Did they go up? The old Bass X weren't that much, were they? Right? That's the Bass X? Yeah. Those went up. Those were like 115 bucks, I swear. They have the old ones on here still. Yeah, because the Mojo was like the 120, 131. That's strange. No, they don't have the old one, but so like for example, the Victory was like it's a real nice one. Where is it? Yeah, right here. See this little tiny, like what is that? Give me a big knob to grab onto there. Somebody will make a GIF out of that. I should have worded that better. Anyway, you know what I mean. I like a good like positive purchase on my rod. But one thing I do really like about theirs, and they kept this the same, I think on the Bass X, we'll go look, but I like where the reel nut is all foam. So like if you're like me and you like to finger your line, laying your finger there, that's the most comfortable. Did they keep that for the Bass X? Oh, nope. See, they got rid of it. Damn it. See, those aren't great, but they don't suck. I'll say that. How do I enlarge it? No, I don't want shopping search. What the hell? Here. So anyway, the little nut part there where it's just lines, not great, not horrible, but it's kind of like the Dobbins ones. The Dobbins ones have it too. Nothing fancy on it. It's not my favorite, but it's not awful. There's some of them that'll have them there where it's like the metal piece where they try to overdo it and it's sharp, and some of them really grind your finger if you hold your finger there. So that kind of sucks that they got rid of the foam. I'm pretty sure the old Bass X had that. I don't know where that rod is off the top of my head. I'd have to go looking for it, but I'm pretty sure it was foam there. Okay, anyway, what are we doing for giveaway tonight? Let us see. Do we have any good ideas here? Oh, yeah, Fish Anything is his name. Ethan. Good cat. Very nice guy. Very, very nice guy. We've had him on before. What was it before? Before it was Mule Fishing. He owns Mule Fishing. He told the story of that, which is really cool. I'm trying to remember what his name was before. I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, good guy. Let's see. What do we have for give away a tackle bag? Give away a Metanium. Oh, you guys are funny. Sticker? Yeah, I can definitely throw a sticker in. I still have a few stickers left. There's actually going to be one of my nice subscribers sent me some stickers as well. Made up a bunch for me and sent, which is super nice of him. Like I said, I was almost out. This is what I've got left. And I spilled my Dr. Pepper on them the other day. Luckily, they were able to clean off because they're like the slicky. But that's all I've got left. So maybe, 15. So I'm going to have to get some more made up. I'm going to have to hit up Kuda and see where he got his. He had like the real thick, kind of like matte vinyl type. An autographed Debo hat. Yeah, people have been asking me about the hat. Actually, that was my daughter's idea. So my daughter and wife, there was some place on Etsy or somebody made it with like a nice leather round thing. If you've seen me wearing the Debo one, normally I'm not like about wearing my own gear. That seems kind of cheesy, but that was for my family that made it. So a lot of people say my hat. That one I can't give away. I need to. I've looked in a few places and it's just it hasn't worked out. I want good hats. Is this a Richardson 112? This is even a Richardson. I don't even know what this one is. This one's pretty comfortable, but some of the hats that you get, like the cheaper like trucker hat type style, suck really bad. The Richardson ones are pretty good. I would love to get New Era, like one of their, was it 955 or whatever their snapbacks are. I would even be willing to take less, like essentially make no money as long as I'm not losing money on it. I don't care about making a ton of money. I would rather put out a good product and make nothing on it, because like some of the t-shirts you get and stuff are pretty crappy. Like when, people get them made. So yeah, I just need to, cause I don't have time to get, 100 of them here and pack them all and send them all. I literally don't have time to do that. So it'll have to be through some place that can do all that. I mean, hell, I can't even keep track of my giveaways and get them out every week. Right. So a tackle backpack would be, I don't have an extra tackle backpack to give away, or I would. I have my Fish Lab one, then I have the Tackle Warehouse. Those are the only two I use. Actually, I have the little shoulder bag, but that was just a cheap Amazon one. Little shoulder backpack. Okay, I don't see anything else here. What else? We need we need Nebraska versus Iowa tourney. That'd be fun. Lots of hashtags, some things. Well, I'll just do like a box of goodies. The winner can kind of let me know what kind of fishing they do, and I can tailor it to them. Give away that giant ball of cranks, then you wouldn't need to organize them. Hey, I appreciate you looking out for me. That's kind of you to think of something like that. Ooh, secret box of baits. Okay, I could do a secret box. I'd like to, whoever wins, maybe that's what I'll do. Just tell me what you like and I'll try to tailor it to you. Whatever type of fishing you do, I'll try to match that. Just going through here, getting through all the something, seeing there's kind of stuff sprinkled in here. I'm not seeing any. Oh, 10 horses in here. What's up, Gabe? Need to get Gabe on again sometime too. Good cat, full of knowledge. Yeah, Bass Aston said the same thing. Agree with the small triggers. I love my Mega Bass Levante, but yeah, I just don't like those. I don't like the tiny little. Is the Crowd okay worth getting in 2024? Yeah, absolutely. I still think it's a great reel. The M didn't change a whole ton. MGL spool in it. It's got the silent tune, but the Crowd okay is still a beast of a reel. Okay, well, let's pull and then we'll take a few more questions and see what y'all got. People talking back and forth on reels. I'm just going to skip ahead. Okay, so let's pull a winner here. Then we can just kind of take some questions. Whoops, that's not the right one. I want this one. Okay. I am sharing. Okay. Must be present to win. I'll say that now. If you're not present now, you're not going to know, so it's not going to matter. You're going to have to email me. And if you're a Canadian brethren, I'll have to figure out something else for you. Because it costs $575 to ship a box of lures. Who's it going to be? Mr. Douglas Wagner. Calling Douglas Wagner, are you here? Okay. Hey, Douglas Wagner says, wow. All right, so Douglas, email me over there, debosfishing@gmail.com right there. Send me a screenshot of your YouTube so I know it's you, and let me know what type of fishing you do or type of lures, or if you need some line, just whatever you're lacking, and I'll try to hook you up, my friend. If you put metanium on the list that you need a new metanium, I'm just going to send you a whole box of dog poop, so don't do that. his lure pick. Okay. All right. So what else we got for questions? Keep the questions coming in here. We can do a little bit longer here. We've still got almost 300 people watching. I love it. Y'all truly do make the Saturday nights better. I was talking to mom and dad earlier today. I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm going to go live. Super tired. Thought, you know what? I have a lot of people that like watching. And also the cool part to me that this is more of a compliment than anything is when people say, man, it's part of my Sunday night ritual. You know, pour a dad pop, sit back, watch Debo, laugh, have fun. Like, yes, that's what DEBO'S fishing should be. Educate. You know, I feel like I'm not the dumbest person when it comes to fishing. Of course, I'm no pro. You know, I know my lures by looking at them, most of them, my gear. So it's like, you know what? Let's have fun with it. Get back to having fun. Who won the comment? It was Douglas Wagner. Douglas Wagner, and he was here. So, Mr. RPF, I love you too, man. That's a funny thing. Do you all use the word love too loosely? Some people say I use the word love too loosely, like, oh man, I love you. To me, it doesn't have to be like only said to your spouse or child. Like, I don't know. Some people I think about stuff too much. Do I have the new tattoo? Yes, that'll be another video coming up soon. That was which I already shared that on Instagram. That was my favorite reel of the year, quote unquote, new reel. I had some other reels that I really liked, but not all of them. Actually, I'd have to go back and think. I don't know off the top of my head, but most of them aren't even real, or most of them aren't even new reels from this year that actually released in or last year, I should say, that released in 2023. So yes, new Tattoola 100 is an awesome reel. If you're thinking about getting it, get it. If you need a new one, don't go out of your budget just to get one. But let's see. Yeah, lots of people saying thank you. I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate that a lot. Oh, who wins? Is that I'm going Michigan. That's the Michigan game, right? Michigan takes it over Washington. They're a hell of a team. Tattoola or Corrado, man, I like each one for different reasons. People were saying that when I posted about the Daiwa Tattoola 100. People are like, "Oh, spoken like a true Daiwa fanboy," and I'm not that way. Like I like different reels, different brands. Yeah, kind of a Tattoola fanboy. I think they do have the best brakes on the market, best braking system, hands down. Easiest to use, easy to dial in. You don't have to take it apart. You don't have to do anything. Corrados fit great in hand. They're the smoothest. I think Corrados are the smoothest reels on the market. Like if we're talking at that price point, you know, Bantam, really Shimano. Shimano has the smoothness game. Fit and finish, smooth, all that put together. They've got that on lockdown. What vise am I using? I got it on, couldn't tell you. I got it on Lure Parts Online. I can look here real quick. Lure Parts Online. Great place to get like bulk treble hooks and stuff. You can get jig heads. Like this is actually kind of a cool thing. We should do a thing like this some night and just go through some of these, like Jan's Lure Craft, Lure Parts Online. I'm sure there's another one. I forget what the other big one is, but these are kind of cool because if you're like kind of just dipping your toes into tackle making, these are fun because you don't have to go all out. So like Bill Lowen's one of their pros, and he actually has like some of his own heads and models of jigs. And you don't even have to go this way. You can just get like naked, like regular jigs, but you can see he's got some of his own head styles and things that he makes. So even if you find like one of these, like Boss actually makes some really good ones. I don't know if they carry them on here, but it's like, for example, if you have some of his flipping jigs and stuff that are put together, you could always get some of these and just tie your own skirts. Let's see if they have Boss, because those are my favorite jig heads that they sell. Oh, they don't sell them here? God, what site is that sells them? I don't remember, but like Tackle Warehouse has them too. But there's one of these sites where they sell the Boss jigs, and I've really, really, really like those. But they do it here too, so you can see like when you're shopping for this stuff. And I get into vices here real quick. You can buy just the jigs, you can buy skirts that where you don't have to use, like this tool to band them and stuff like that. You can get already, the already pre-made skirts too, just if you want to have, like, there's a certain color you find that you really like. Oh, they've reorganized this. I don't remember which one it is. I'm no help. I don't remember. It's one of these. It wasn't super expensive. I didn't need anything too crazy. Was it a Norvise? That sounds familiar. That's not it. No, that is definitely not it. It was just a pretty simple one. I didn't spend too much. I want to say it was like $40 here. Was it a budget vice? This is probably what I went to. It's like an all black. This one right here. I think that's the one. So $19. This is a fly tying one, but all I've tied is jigs, and yeah, that's the one I've got. All I've tied is jigs and Ned rigs really on it, and it's been fine for me. All it does is holds the jig in place. So, but if you go out here and look, like, what was the? Should be like jig. Yeah, so here. So they have like their own brand that they make too, where they will pour, like, using their own lead, jig molds and stuff, and then make the heads and stuff for you. God, they've got 8. This is like buying gas. You have to click 17 million things before you get to the gas. There we go. So yeah, they've got their own things here that you can just buy and then put your own skirts on. So like there's the hover rig, super popular. Instead of buying, I don't know how much those are. That's not really a sale, I guess, on those. But, something like this and you can get them cheaper than this 5-pack for $670. That's kind of expensive, actually. There's a 5-pack for $360, just a round ball head. But looking at different places and doing that is a fun way to get into it, instead of buying all the lead pouring stuff and all that and spending all that money if you're not sure about it, where you can at least try tying some and say, hey, you know what? This is kind of fun. Let's see. Jermaine in the house. What's up, Jermaine? Trailer hook on frogs. No, I've had people ask me that before. I'm not a trailer hook on a frog guy. I know they make them. It's got like 2 little round things that you put over the frog hooks, the 2 back hooks, and it has like a 3rd hook at the back. My thing is, like, if I'm in stuff like that where I can get away with throwing something like that and not getting snagged, I think there's better options, a walking bait, a popper, something like that with trebles, throwing to the edge of the vegetation and stuff. For me, with the frog, it's just so versatile. You can get in and around that stuff and not get snagged coming over branches and wood. So no, I don't mess with a trailer hook on them. I will say, cutting the feet, if you're asking for a trailer hook because of short strikes, waiting just a little bit to set the hook and cutting the frog legs helps a lot. I'm going to tell you, you are always going to miss fish on a frog. It's always going to happen. You will never have 100% hookup ratio. People talk about pulling it out of the fish's mouth, but if you've watched some of the underwater videos, a lot of the times they're just plain missing it. So the reason I say wait a little bit is because as soon as I see a fish hit it and I know it has it, setting the hook right away, I don't think waiting any sort of time matters if you know for sure it has it. But if you wait just a little bit and you see your line go tight and then slack again where they've let it go, or you wait to feel just a little bit of weight before you set the hook, saves you, because that frog, if they didn't get it, if they just kind of hit it and it swirled under and it floats back up, a lot of times if you just leave it there and give it a couple twit, they'll come up and hit it again and really get it. Because a lot of the times it's all the stuff in the way, whether it's the little duckweed type stuff or lily pad leaves. There's a whole bunch. Oftentimes they can't even see it. They're just going by the motion, the kind of the little trail and stuff, but they can't even really see what it is. They're just hitting it. So giving that little weight there just to make sure it has it, I think is more important than necessarily waiting a certain, like, people tell you count to 3 seconds or whatever. Like, they've either got it or they don't. So that's where I'm not really sold on like a certain time, but trying to make sure they have it, because if they don't and you swing and pull it out of there, you can scare them. You don't get that chance sometimes to throw back in there. Some fish will hit it 3-4 times before you hook them. Some fish, you've got that one try before you rip it out of there. Ooh, Kale, that's a really good question. I would say, like, if money-wise, if I was going out and buying one right now, like with my own money, I would say the SLX MGL, because they've had a lot of good sales. American Legacy had the used, quote unquote, used, that were like brand new. I don't know how they get all their stuff. They get overstock of stuff somehow, but they'll say it's used and it hasn't even been touched. but they have to sell it used for that reason because it's been out. People have looked at it. Maybe it was a display or something, but minus that one reel that I got over there that was crap, I've had really, really good luck with them. And they were selling those SLX MGLs for 109. And that's a steal because I think those are regular like 160, 70. But either one's good. Both of those are great reels. I like them a lot. Let's see. I have an alarm that goes off on my phone every Saturday night at 7:25 to remind me. That's awesome. Julie, that makes my night. That is freaking cool. The people that love to come and hang out, it means a lot to me. Oh, yeah, Harbor Freight vise. Yeah, you could just get a cheap vise too, like a regular, like if you're tying out in your garage, like a tabletop vise. Sure, one of those will work just as well too. Let's see. Awesome Aussie Cat says, I went and bought some EWG Ned heads because of you. You've been crushing them on it. Ned versus Shaky Head. Yeah, so people have asked me, and it does really blur the lines with the number of different head shapes and types that are out now. When I think of Shaky Head personally, for me, a Ned rig is a more finesse version of a Shaky Head, if that makes sense. So usually I'm going a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller profile of a bait. Like the most I use usually on a Ned rig is like a 4-inch bait, like a 4-inch dinger type thing, or like the large TRD, which I think is 4 inches. Versus a shaky head, you can have the guys fishing the big, heavy shaky heads out on ledges. You can have like, even when I was fishing the shaky head a lot, I was throwing a 1/4 ounce, but it was a heavy wire hook, and I was using it in place of my Texas rig. And that was from watching Hank Parker talking about fishing standing up wood. And he said he almost doesn't even mess with tying a Texas rig. He just grabs his heavier shaky head rod and fishes vertical timber that way. And it's like, yeah, it actually makes sense because if you're fishing straight up and down on a lot of that stuff, it doesn't matter if it's a ball head or a Texas rig, you're coming through all that pretty good anyway. But it's really just like having a pre-rigged Texas rig on a lot of those shaky heads. Plus, as a bank angler, I don't know if you're bank fishing or not, but you can go from fishing rock right to fishing around, wood. Once you get in the real gnarly wood, I'd rather have a Texas rig. A lot of the shaky heads aren't necessarily built for that, but for me, a Ned rig is a little bit more subtle finesse type version. Because with a shaky head, I'm usually throwing like a trick worm or a ribbon, tailworm, 7, 8-inch type thing on it. But I mean, you can have a little, more finesse. I think Owner used to make those little, I don't know if they still do or not, those little stand-up shaky heads that were kind of a lighter wire. And I mean, you could throw a 4-inch yum dinger on that, and there's really not much of a difference, to be honest. Let's see. Curious. Chase, curious how I'm liking that Victory 10111 hook in the do it mold. I like it a lot. So far, I've not had any issues with mine. I use it in the little finesse head and then the round ball head if y'all just see me make those. I bought a bunch of the mustad ones that they sold, and those mustad hooks were junk. So I would say whatever you are, if you can get I don't know if they have a Gamakatsu one that fits it. But yeah, I was really displeased with those mustads, which is strange because they make really good big hooks, like the round ball heads, and the heavier ones I use are mustad. But those were like those brass, I don't know. They were junk. But yeah, I've liked the 10111. Oh yeah, Barlow's is another one. Yeah. Did they buy out? Did Jan's Lurecraft buy them out or something? Or are they separate? Yeah, Barlow's is the other one. Maybe Barlow's is the one that has. I will show you guys real quick if they have the Boss stuff. That has been my favorite for. No, they don't have because like there's the Dock Knocker. They do have some of them, but they just have the Swim Jig and another one that's kind of lame. Let's just look and see. I know Tackle Warehouse isn't gonna have them cheap. You could look for a sale, but let's see what they are for price. because I think they have the best so far for me. I think Brent Ayler's where I first seen those. I think he's sponsored by them and works with them, but he was the first one I had seen talking about putting his own skirts on those. And they've got a really good selection of stuff. Yeah, so Barlow's sold these, the swim jigs, and then some other one. But I really like their dock knocker. This one, like as an all-around flipping jig, I like how the head is recessed, the line tie is recessed in there. I'm a big fan of that on my flipping around wood. It just rides up wood so easy. I mean, if you imagine looking at that, it's just like a ski, goes right up over wood. So I really like those. And look at that, they've got a really good sale on them right now. Marked down from $7. Yeah, you can save a penny. That'll save you the penny that you can send to your great grandma on her card. Tape a penny to it and a stick of gum. Or my great grandma used to do that, bless her heart. That was always funny. You get a stick of gum and a coin. Man, back in the day though, that's how spoiled we are now as kids. I remember my grandpa would talk about, back in the day, he'd get like some fruit and like a little toy, and that was it. Hell, there's kids that don't even get anything for Christmas. But again, yeah, you can save a penny there. But anyway, yeah, they've got a bunch of really good looking jigs and things you can choose from. Yeah, there's the Brent Ayler one. They've even got the Sparky jig, ball head jigs. So it looks like $6.99 for most of these for a 3 or 4 pack. So they're not the cheapest, but still, if you buy a bulk thing of skirts and some of these, you're looking at 2-ish something for a jig. There's the Gary Klein ones. So yeah, it's just a fun way. And like I said, it's not about saving money a lot of times. It's about finding a head that you like and making this completely your own. So like when I'm talking about when I'm talking of skirts, I know like 6 Cents has some dirty jigs. These are probably the most I've used. But you can get all these. So if you find one that like your company doesn't make, like a head type, and you can find, there's all these different, like you can get that one that's made. You can get this, you can get, any of this stuff. Tactical Shad is a new one, and make your own stuff. So that's a fun part of that. Let's see. Ben says, yeah, just order $40 worth of Boss jigs from fishing skirts. Oh, that's where it was. Fishing Skirts Online. You're right, Ben. They're the ones that have them. And Boss on there has their own put together skirts too. Good call. Thank you. Yeah, it's Fishing Skirts Online, I think is what it is, or fishingskirts.com. Fishing Skirts Online. No, that's not it. Oh yeah, fishingskirts.com is what it is. Thank you, Ben. Okay, let's see. We got one more good question for getting out of here. One more good question for the night's over. Yeah, John, I felt dirty saying that. Yeah. Shame on me. There's no better top water than a frog. I know. Sometimes I'll make exceptions. Yeah, for me, for sure, the best top water for me was the Boyo spook this year. Caught the most fish for me, top water. Bank fishing sucks in the winter. Yeah, it can be tough. That's for sure. Slow down. I don't know what your water temperatures are, but definitely slowing down. Ooh, DT will end on this one. Question, can you do a Nico versus Shaky head battle? Yes. My take is Nico and Shaky catch the same, but Nico snags less. I would say no. So for me, when I'm fishing a shaky head, it's all about the bottom, right? I'm not thinking about fall rate. I'm not thinking about the drop as much. Now maybe you do mess with the head type, but for me, when I'm thinking shaky, I'm thinking on the bottom, bouncing over stuff, dragging it, hopping it. For me, the Nico is a perfect mix between like a bottom bait and a like a wacky rig, a weightless Senko, because you can put a real light weight in it. It does fall quicker because it's going down, but when you pop it, it's got that wacky pop as it goes up. And if you don't have too heavy of a head in it, it can still fall at a decent amount, especially if you're not using a straight tail. If you've got something with a little bit of ribbon or a paddle behind it, where it slows it down just a little bit as it's falling, you can kind of get the best of both worlds. So yeah, again, it's one of those that kind of blurs the line, right? If you go heavier with it and you're really fishing it on the bottom and that's where you have success, yeah, maybe there's not as big of a a gap between those two. That'd be a good one. Maybe just talking about how I use them. And I'm not the guy to, tell you this is the right for each one, but it would be more telling you how I use it and the ways I've found success. Because again, like I'm not throwing a 1 ounce shaky head on the ledges, fishing deep in the summer. That's not my game. That's not how I use a shaky head. Let's see. Also lost in tackle fish. Oh yeah, fishing skirts his boss. He just ordered 40. See, here's two people that, as we've been talking about it, piece of dust. Can tell I don't dust down here. Two people that have said they order the boss jigs. Yeah, they make really good stuff. I think that's it. Well, listen, I'm going to get out of here for the night. I love y'all. Thanks for watching. We'll be getting back next Saturday. I don't know what I'm going to find to do next Saturday. I'm trying to keep it fresh. It won't be fishing license trivia, so don't worry about that. But we'll get something going. But anyway, love y'all. Thanks for watching. I'm out, and until next